Hey guys, Fire here with another team fight from the depths of bronze where even top lane CV Garen is viable. So in the last video you guys asked to see a Throw and a Baron fight, so hopefully this is going to be the best of both worlds. So red team finally pick up this Baron and then they're going to chase onto Singed and put some good damage onto him. Obviously they've never realised that you're not supposed to chase a Singed, they run straight through his poison taking some good damage, but they do finally catch onto blue team and manage to pick off Singed. Trindy's going to jump into the middle of the red team, pick up the kill onto Janna and then turn onto Vayne, but unfortunately goes down. Vayne is going to man up and dive straight into a Nidalee spear and a Caitlyn headshot. We then see Orianna decide she doesn't want to play with her balls anymore and she's just going to ultimate herself. And then we have three ranged champions decide they don't want to be ranged anymore, they're just going to sit there in melee range and duke it out until one of them dies. So as always, the first thing we're going to look at is a state of the game before the fight starts. Now the blue team is really spread here, as you can see with Orianna and Nidalee being nowhere near the fight, and just off screen for the red team, Garen is also recalling, making this an eventual 4v5. Now this is a really common mistake where the team with Baron suddenly think that they are a lot stronger than they actually are and don't really factor in the damage taken while they were doing Baron. Now Singed here in all of his poisony goodness, I think that's the word, is a really juicy target and kind of baits the red team in here. What they should have done is just to base, spend all the gold they've gained from Baron, heal up and then push together. The final thing I really want to mention is that Singed has popped his ultimate here, which means it's even harder to catch him, and you're only really going to if he wants you to because he's so fast. Just to prove my point, as you'll see in a second, he actually turns around when he's closer to his team to force them to fight, and it ends up getting the whole of the red team killed. So this second part that I'm going to show you is where the red team had the chance to really win the fight but just didn't capitalise, or kind of just didn't have the vision to make it happen. So we can see that Tryndamere is doing what he does best and just beating on Vayne's face with his ultimate on, but the rest of blue team has now arrived from behind. Lissandra is pretty much out of position here, and this is why. So she could have single-handedly set up the win for a red team. Now that her ultimate is still available, it's amazing at bursting carries and locking them in place. Now because Tryndamere is on Vayne, she actually is in no danger outside of the zone I'm showing you now, which is actually Caitlyn's range. Tryndamere is obviously going to die at this point, so she should be moving herself into a position to get onto Caitlyn. Now if she had just moved to where I'm showing you on screen now, she would have still been out of the danger zone but could have gotten onto Kate with her ultimate and had Aatrox follow up. This would have allowed Vayne to also jump onto Caitlyn after Tryndamere and burst her down really quickly. Now what actually happens is all three of the red team run towards Caitlyn after Tryndamere and she kites them backwards, eventually killing Vayne before turning onto the others. Now this is the last part of the fight I want to show you guys because it really highlights why frag hunting is such a bad thing. Now in this situation, Nidalee is the closest target to Lissandra, she's the lowest health and the easiest to kill. Now this means Lissandra ends up using her ultimate on Nidalee, and just because she's the easiest target to kill does not mean you should blow everything on her and ignore the others. So let's just look at the options she had, and in reality she could only ultimate Nidalee or Caitlyn, and to know which one will be better target you have to think about the champion's strengths and weaknesses. Now Caitlyn is an AD carry, which means that she's built to team fight and wants an all-in fight, whereas Nidalee is built to poke and doesn't have as much upfront damage, which means she wants to avoid all-out fights. So if Caitlyn's strength is a team fight whereas Nidalee is poking, then Caitlyn will be doing more damage in the current situation and she will be the ideal focus. So to be honest, in this situation, in this fight, if Lissandra had ulted Caitlyn, they probably would have won. Now I know there are always comments in these videos saying, well I can't think that quickly in a team fight, it's impossible to know everything. So my best tip for today is just to think about these things before the fight even starts. Now while both teams are getting ready to fight, just ask yourself who on their team does the most damage and who is the biggest target. That way when the time comes to pick someone, you'll already know the answer. So once again, you guys asked me to play this fight through at full speed after I've analysed it, so here you go. So thanks for watching the video guys, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Machinima Realm. As always, please do let me know what kind of fight you want to see next, whether you actually want to see a closer Baron fight, a more even fight, or even something like a dragon fight. Now I do also put out content on my own channel for you guys, so if you want to come and check that out, it's mainly aimed at improving you as a player and also making you laugh. That is going to be all for this episode, but I'll catch you next time.